Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Pranzata Podcast. This is your host, Andrea Pranzatelli. This is episode number 64 on this podcast. And today I have with me Alex Delesky. He is a comedian from New Jersey, and I have a bunch of questions prepared for him. So let's get right into it. So let me first explain to the audience how we know each other and, everything like that. So we're both stand-up comedians from New Jersey. We were asked to do a roast battle against each other, and we really knew very little about each other. Like, we ran into each other a few times, but we never really had like a deep talk or anything.
Yeah, it was one of those internet roast battles where you just had to go based off of like what you're seeing on their social media profile.
Yeah, we basically had to just kind of stalk each other to see like, okay, who is this person and what are we going to joke about with each other? So then I have a bunch of questions prepared for you. And funny enough, very few of the questions are actually about comedy. Most of the questions are about the things that you wrote for your roast bat.
Okay.
Not the jokes you wrote, but like the things the ammunition you gave me. You're like, hey, these are the weird things about me. I have a lot of questions about that. So, and they're not in a necessarily bad way. So my first question for you, and we're going to start off nice and heavy with this one. One of the things you told me on your list of things that I could roast you for was you said that psychedelics changed your life. So
yeah.
Are you open to talk about that on the podcast?
Yeah, sure.
So you said that psychedelic changed your life. Can you explain how?
Yeah, well, I think when I was a young kid, I was very like negative minded, and I didn't really believe anything was possible like outside of like what's in front of you, like your eyesight. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I didn't believe in like attainable goals or anything like that, or like putting things into the world existence and like manifestation, all that kind of things. Even like God, I didn't really think any of it was real. Yeah, I just thought it was, you just laugh at it as jokes because people are stupid, and everyone who believes those things are kind of dumb. It's like what a kid would think. It's dumb shit. I just felt very closed-minded, and then like I took acid one time because I was like, oh, I'm gonna get high, man. I'm gonna trip out. It's gonna be awesome. And then the stereotypical acid experience where it's like, oh, it shows you things and like,
gotcha.
This is real, and now I can understand how this works, and I can think more positively about things.
So I guess in that case, for you, it kind of even meant more because you literally went into it with the mindset of like, this is just for fun to get fucked up. Like, I don't believe any of this shit, but you saw shit that changed your perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
So then my next question is for you. I asked this to my last guest, and he didn't really have anything, so I'm curious what you have. Have you ever had a trip that was profound for you? And can you share like some of that experience with us?
A profound trip.
Oh, this is yours.
I wouldn't even say a trip, but an experience that was, it like made me think that things are more connected through the air in like a more physical way than I thought. Because, so one time me and my best friend, we took some acid tabs. We went into the woods and our plan was just to walk around, hike for a few hours, just let it hit. We're going to go see the big lake. It's big and beautiful. It'll be cool. So a couple hours in, we go deep into the woods and nothing's happening. Like the acid's just not hitting us at all. So we're like, all right, screw this. We'll walk back. Yeah. We go all the way back, and on our way out, my friend just stops because he's got to tie his shoe. Yeah. So he just goes, yo, wait up a second. He stops, puts his hand on a tree to like get balance, and as soon as he grabbed the tree, we both got a jolt of like crazy psychedelic energy. Like just for like a split second, but we both literally looked each other in the eye and we're like, whoa!
Like you both felt it at the same time?
Yeah.
That's really crazy. So funny, I've never done I did try to do psychedelics once. I already talked about this on the last episode, so I'm not going to get too into it, but just for new people, short story, I've tried mushrooms and I couldn't feel anything because I'm on antidepressants and apparently they cancel each other out sometimes. Not all the time,
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Sometimes.
Shit.
Sometimes taking antidepressants makes it so that you can't experience psychedelics. So short story, because I already talked about it, but where this is going to is that I've never been able to experience this, but I've heard accounts from different people who said pretty much the same thing you just said in different words, that when they were taking acid or mushrooms with other people, they would experience the same quote unquote trip at the same time. Like kind of what you said, you and your friend both felt some sort of energy from the tree, but you were both together feeling it at the same time. And I've heard other people say the same things. Like my one friend was like, yeah, I felt this like weird balloon pop in my mind, and his friend like described the same thing at the same time as him.
That's interesting.
So it's
because I've never heard that before, like a balloon popping
like
thing.
Like it was some type of energy that popped, but apparently him and his friend were both collectively feeling it together at the same time, and they both felt the pop. Like, so it's just like really interesting.
It is, because it's like if everything is just a physical reality and there's no like spiritual world or like even like I don't know, like wave frequencies happening between people, how would any of that be possible? Yeah, no, okay. My next question for you, getting on some more heavy topics. We're not letting him go easy today. So you like talking about this stuff, which you mentioned. So right now I'm at a phase of my life where I consider myself agnostic. So I'm somebody who believes in something, because I've seen weird shit too, that I'm like, how could any of this be possible if there wasn't something beyond my understanding as a human being? You know what I mean? Like I may never understand what it is, but I feel that there is something bigger than what I see in front of me. Kind of like a cat chasing its tail. Like when a cat chases its tail, I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly, but sometimes you'll watch animals do things and you're like, oh, he's chasing his own tail. He has no idea it's him. Like I feel like as humans, there must be things that we're doing that we can't see what we're actually doing, or we can't see the big picture. I don't know if that was a analogy that made any sense. We're just kind of acting in a thing. We don't realize we're like in the puzzle.
Yeah. So, but where I'm going with this to the next question is, I don't affiliate myself with any religion, but I am interested in learning about them. Mm-hmm. So you had mentioned to me that you're Christian?
Well, roast battle wise, I was like, I believe like mostly I go in that direction of like, I believe in the 7 deadly sins, and I don't know, there seems to be a lot going on there with like good and evil. I think is like, it just seems true and real to me. I wouldn't even really go and say, yeah, I am a Christian, because I don't do all the things a Christian, I guess, would be doing or should be doing. Like, I don't know, going to church all the time. I don't know if you got to do that, or
you don't really go to church.
I pray. I try to, I like pay attention to my sins. I try to fix them. Yeah. But I pretty much just said like, yeah, I'm a Christian, just to give you something to work with. So
but you don't really consider yourself like actually a Christian.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if you like lumped me in with a bunch of Christians, I wouldn't. I feel like I'd be an outlier. I don't know why, but I just wouldn't.
And also, you mentioned before that you didn't believe in any spiritual realm before. So if you were a Christian, it's a new thing for you.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, so what about Christianity do you like? Like what enticed you about it?
Well, because there's consequences, and I can see the way that the things that are written to be evil affect the world to this day. Mm-hmm. And things that have happened in history that kind of make sense towards like biblical prophecy and the way things are unfolding. Yeah. I feel like now that like the way things are going, it starts to make more sense as to what was prophesized in like Revelations of like everything that's unfolding. Like for example, when the Jews were exiled from Israel back like thousands of years ago, or however long, I don't know, it was like 500 AD or some shit. That's why they were all over the world, all over Europe, all over different countries. But it was written in the Bible that when they returned to their land, it would mark one of the starts of Revelations. Yeah. And no one, that just seems so untrue. Like who gets their country back, you know? Yeah. Why would they just get a country back? Yeah. But that happened after the Holocaust. Yeah. They were given their birthright back to Israel. Yeah. Which creates a lot of the conflict you see in like Syria. Yeah. And like, you know, their whole border disputes and the whole religious war going on there.
Have you spent a decent amount of time like reading about different religions and stuff like that?
I've like not much reading, but like hearing people's like philosophies on them, and like this is a Buddhist philosophy.
So that's kind of where I'm at now. Like I was saying before, I'm agnostic, and I've been trying to like read about different religions and take like what I like, take the principles from each religion that I like. The issue that I keep running across when I'm doing this is that every time I study a specific religion, I find some part of that religion that I'm like, oh, well, what about this? Like this part doesn't make sense to me. It's like 80% of what you said makes perfect sense to me, but that's fucked up. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's the issue. So I actually want to get to you about this. Not that I don't know if you have an answer for this. Well, first of all, can you explain to me the difference between Christianity and Catholicism? Because I actually don't really know the major difference.
I think Christianity sticks more true to like scripture and what's written.
Yeah.
Catholicism honestly seems like a kind of wash of the whole thing to make it almost like ritualistic and almost like a cultish. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
There's a lot of weird shit that goes on in Catholicism.
Yeah.
In terms of like baptizing a baby as soon as it's born, this doesn't make any sense because you need to like understand what's going on in a baptism to say like, yes, I'm being like saved for like Jesus, or my soul is being washed away of all of its impurity. But that baby has no idea what's going on. Things like that, eating the communion, like the whole bread and the blood of Jesus thing. It's like a cultish shit, and like Santa Claus. I don't know. It's all so fucking weird.
Got it. So I actually never knew this. So they really don't do this in Christianity. They don't do baptism. They don't do all that stuff.
They do. You get baptized, but a lot of people do it on their own like coalition. You usually do when you're an adult.
That makes a lot more sense because like as an adult, you would actually have like things that were dirty about you, but as a baby, like what does it's like a brand new baby. It's the most pure thing.
Yeah.
You know?
And it doesn't understand the actual significance of what's happening.
Yeah. It's just crying. Like it almost reminds me when I worked in the restaurant business, whenever we would sing happy birthday to a baby, it was like, who are these fucking aliens all coming up to me and singing in my face with fire? Like they just like don't understand what's going on.
That's how I always felt about 1-year-old birthday parties in general. Like whenever someone's invited me over for a party for like a 1-year-old kid, I'm like, do we really got to be doing this?
Yeah.
Like, you know, this is more for the parents, right? Because they're happy they had a kid a year ago.
Yeah.
But the baby it's not going to eat the cake.
Yeah. Going back to the religion talk. So one thing, like what I was saying before, I'm interested in religions, and then I kind of start getting into them, and then I find something about the religion, and I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. So, for example, Buddhism. When I first started reading about Buddhism, I'm like, these are such peaceful, wonderful philosophies. And then I got to the part of the book that I was reading where it was like, but then once you become enlightened, you just cease to nothingness. And I'm like, well, that's fucked up. I don't want to do that. So I'm not necessarily. There is something cool about the idea of being like reincarnated until you fix all your issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I'm just like, so I fixed all my issues and then I become nothing. Like fuck that shit.
Yeah, I don't get that. That doesn't
feel
I hope
good.
not. I fucking hope not.
And then Catholicism. I recently have been talking to one of my friends who's a Catholic just to see what their perspective is. I'm like, okay, I want to know what you think, what you feel, and a lot of the stuff he said, I understood. I was like, okay, that actually makes sense when you explain it like that. The one thing I couldn't get to, and I'm wondering what the Christian perspective is on this, was the gay marriage thing. I was like, I don't know what the Christian perspective is on that, but I'm like, I can't understand or see that's where I draw the line with Catholicism, where I'm just like, me personally, I don't see why a union can't exist between same sex. So I'm curious to know what you think about that from the Christian perspective.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have an answer for that either because it doesn't really make too much sense to me.
Yeah.
Because I think the thing with the being against like gay marriage and gay sex as a Christian is it comes to like carnal hunger for the flesh. Like I think that's kind of the perspective that like Christians have on like gay sex and gay marriage, is that it's not like a real spiritual bond, but it's about the sexual relation of like being perverted and sharing like bodies with the same sex.
Yeah. See, that's where I disagree, because it's like, why couldn't love exist?
Yeah, I don't really get
you know
that
what I mean? Because
either.
it's not like straight couples don't also share the flesh. Like it's not like straight couples don't get perverted with each other too. So I don't see why
but in those rules
there couldn't be love, you know?
Yeah, in those rules though, someone who would be having sex before marriage would be sinning as much as like a gay person being, like having sex. It's the same thing because it's lust.
But I guess where I'm getting at is like, but if they got married, then why couldn't they also share that same sex and then what my friend was saying was, well, the purpose of marriage is to procreate. And that's like the one, like I was saying, there was a lot of things that my friend was saying about Catholicism that I was like, I agree with a lot with what you're saying, but that part I just can't wrap my head around for some reason, but that's just me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tricky. That's why I don't really typically put my feet down and be like, yeah, I am a Christian. I ride with this to the end, because I do see like
multiple perspectives.
I see it coming from a little bit of everywhere. I think everyone's got a little bit of the answers.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of a cliche opinion nowadays because we got the internet. Everyone's learning about everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really know where I would go with the gay thing. Yeah. It like goes either way. It's like, well, it's just love. Are they really doing anything bad? They're just enjoying each other. Maybe they, falling in love, liking each other, getting married. I can understand that. Mm-hmm. But I guess traditionally, we're probably just scared the shit out of people.
Yeah.
Traditionally, yeah. They're just like, whoa, that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So next question for you. We were talking about psychedelics and religion. Mm-hmm. Is there a shame to do psychedelics in the Christian religion? Like, I'm just curious.
I think it's technically a sin.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to alter your mind at all, really. I mean, I guess there's like extent, because you can drink wine and beer, but I guess you're not supposed to get like intoxicated.
Yeah.
It's kind of like using cheat codes in a way, I think.
So I guess their philosophy would be you're supposed to find this realm on your own.
Yeah. Which to me kind of does make a little sense. I mean, because I've met people who have been like enlightened and like understanding and like connected to the earth and everything without ever having touched a drug.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, well, they did it somehow. But everyone's got their own path, so.
I sort of wonder about the history of that too, though, because like I've heard before from other people talking about it that in the past, religiously people used psychedelics. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of confusing. Like, where did this start? Where it's like, no, this is bad to use. It's just interesting.
I think that's what Christianity was, and like what Jesus spoke of and what they wrote in the Bible. But people take things and they go all over the place.
Yeah,
there's so many people.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own idea. They're like, well, I think this means this, and it goes off on a thing. But ultimately, it says you're not supposed to use anything to alter your mind.
Yeah, I don't know. It's that's why it's tough for me with religion, like with the rules and stuff, because it's like what I'm feeling now, and like probably people in the comment section who are religious are gonna hate me for that. What I'm feeling now is like, because there's so many different religions that exist, and every one of them thinks their religion is the right one. So in my opinion, it's like, I do believe that there is some sort of spiritual realm, but I believe that everybody's trying to figure it out through their religion, but I don't think anyone's gotten it right. Like, because I just think someone comments in the comment section, like, what you think about that, but why would so many different variants of religion with different rules exist? Why would just one of them be the right one? That's how I've been looking at it.
It wouldn't make sense to me either. Like, that's the one part of Christianity, too, that doesn't really, one of them, that kind of makes me think, like, how does that make all the most sense? Like, let's say you had a person who is far removed from, everything that's being written in books, everything people are talking about, just out in a civilization, maybe in the jungle.
Yeah.
And they say that in order to make it to heaven, you have to accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior. It's not about being clean-spirited.
Yeah.
I mean, it is about that because that's what that entails, but it says specifically, accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior.
No.
Well, if this person never heard about it, how are they supposed to...
Exactly. Like,
are
how
they
are
going
they
to
supposed
hell?
Yeah, just because they never knew about it.
He's like,
right?
bro, no one told me. What's the point?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I don't know. I just I think probably with religion, people are on the right track, but I don't think anyone's gotten it right. I don't know. That's just my opinion about it. Okay, next question. Another thing that you wrote on the thing was that you had spent a year in LA for stand-up, and then you came back. So why did you not like LA, or what happened?
No, I didn't really like LA, but
okay.
I did like doing stand-up there because it was a lot of like time to do mics.
Okay.
The city itself, I wasn't a big fan of, like the crazy homelessness, the like soulless of the city.
Yeah.
But no, I had a good time doing mics out there because when I was here in Jersey, I was starting to do stand-up. I had like 3 years of like going like maybe like once a week. But I was like, I want to do this, and I'm not really doing it because most of the time I'm just getting drunk with my friends on the weekends.
Gotcha.
I'm not really doing anything, so I had to light a fire under my ass. So I went to LA with my ex at the time. No, not my ex at the time. That would be weird if she was like my ex when we went. No, we were dating.
Did you guys live together when you moved there?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. How old are you?
27.
Okay, so, you look very young. I would have never guessed you were 27. I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult, but I think it's a compliment because 27, you're getting close to 30, but you have like a very young face.
Thanks. I think I definitely got bags on my eyes. I got gray hairs and shit. But.
I gotta say I'm doing well with the gray hairs because a lot of my friends have gray hair and they're younger than me, and I have a few, but like I'm doing good because I'm 34 and I still have like all my
I don't see any from here.
They're there, but they're just like hard to find. But I have some friends who are like 28 and they have like half their head gray. So
yeah, they probably have crazy jobs.
Yeah. I wonder if stress is what makes your hair gray.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Really?
I think it's part of it. It might just happen inevitably, but
I wish we had someone like an assistant to Google this, but I'm like wondering what exactly happens, like why people get gray, like what's the science behind that,
I don't know. Just color, our body just starts to die. Whatever used to create color just starts getting old before we get too old and just dies off on its own.
It almost makes me wonder, like, were we really meant to be this old? You know what I mean? Because it's like all our shit gets old, like, but we still exist,
Well, I think we can probably last much longer, but everything we consume kills us.
By food, you mean, or just like everything else in general?
Food, the air.
The content you consume when you look at your phone.
Yeah, that too. That probably is stressful. Depresses everyone, right? That's like a thing.
Yeah.
We all feel bad about it. That's what we do. We just look at a fucking little glass piece every day that makes us feel bad about ourselves.
I always find myself like becoming addicted to looking at things that give me like an adrenaline rush, whether it's like on anything, like if it's not all the time. Sometimes I actually watch stuff on YouTube that's like a lecture, like those types of things. Like I'll get into that. But a lot of the time I'll be like what's this story like about like what's the drama here, or even on social media, like I'll stalk exes, like all kinds of just like negative shit, like who's he dating now, like all kinds of crazy shit. So yeah, it could be a really negative thing to what you consume in social media.
That's true, especially when you get like the local shit.
Yeah.
Like people are starting to fight on the internet.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I don't use like I have a Facebook just for business reasons, but I had to get like I don't really use it because I found that Facebook was in particular a lot of arguments on Facebook.
Yeah, that's what
I think it was during the pandemic that I was like, I can't do this. Like people were going fucking nuts like on Facebook. It
was bad during the pandemic.
Yeah.
It's slowed down since. No one cares about anything
I don't really use it as much anymore, but the one thing I was going to say this too, the one thing that irritates me about the media and the news is that there's always some hot story circling, and I get so exhausted about hearing the story. Like it was the Will Smith, and then it was the Johnny Depp, and what are the hot stories now? Like everybody, they just keep circling. It's the teacher with the tits. Remember did you hear about that one? Some school teacher with the tits or whatever. And it's just like,
what happened? She had tits?
Some school teacher had like big giant fake tits, and it circled all over the internet, and everybody's talking about that. Like that's what drives me nuts about the internet, is because you just hear the same shit over and over.
It inundates us.
You can't get away from it.
Puts our minds on like a cycle, so we're not really like reading or paying attention to anything else.
Yeah,
it's exhausting,
and it's like never the things that we should be focusing on. It's always just like things. Oh, okay. So more about the comedy stuff. So you said you spent a year in LA, but you didn't like it and you came back. Out of all the cities, like the local cities, or, compared to LA, so New York, LA, and Philadelphia. Do you spend time in Philly?
I've actually never done anything in Philly.
Really?
Not a mic, nothing.
What about New York?
Yeah, I used to go there when I first started when I was like 20. I would just get on the bus and go like once a week.
But not for comedy? Have you ever done open?
For comedy, yeah.
So you've been doing comedy since you were 21?
20, yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah. That's awesome. No, I didn't know that. So
on and off, though. I'm not like one of those like, boots to the floor grinding every single night.
But these days you have been a little more, like you've been more serious. How many days a week do you do a mic, would you say?
Right now, not much, maybe like twice a week.
Yeah.
Because I'm in like rugby season right now. I kind of did that to like put my energy elsewhere a little bit.
I was actually I was trying to do a roast joke about rugby, and I didn't. What is the difference between football and rugby? I don't know the difference.
There's a lot of differences.
I sound like a moron.
I guess they're very similar in that you're holding a ball and you're running.
Yeah.
And you get tackled. In rugby, you can only pass the ball backwards.
Yeah.
And the play doesn't stop. Like, how in football, if your knees hit the floor and you got the ball, play's over. You got to reassemble, think of a play, and then you go. Yeah. Rugby, it's like you get tackled. You just try to get the ball back to your team. The other team tries to steal the ball while you're on the ground. Mm-hmm. and you just keep going. So it's constant.
Yeah. Is this something you've been doing for a long time? Have you been doing rugby since you were a kid?
No, just since college.
Oh, so they have a college team?
Yeah, I went to William Patterson.
Oh, nice.
I remember I was just fresh off a breakup, my first girlfriend, and I was just like devastated, like depressed. I was like, I need to hit someone or something. Like I needed to get aggression.
Like you wanted to like become a man or something.
Yeah, I was like, oh, she took everything from me.
Yeah. Are you one of those guys? Because I've met a lot of guys like this. Are you one of those guys that like the first time you had your heart broken, like you couldn't date a girl seriously for like another 5 years? Like I know a lot of guys like that. Women and men are so different. Like a lot of women, like they'll get their heart broken and then like fall in love the next week. But I feel like a lot of men I know are very like, she broke my heart, I'll never love another woman again. And they just sleep around for 10 years and then they finally fall in love eventually. Were you kind of like that, or?
That's not necessarily how I felt. I mean, I do get that. Like I had feelings like that where when it happens and it's fresh, just looking at every woman like they're all evil. Yeah. They're all going to get me.
Yeah. I know men like a lot. I mean, I don't want to stereotype. Not everybody's like that, or not every woman is the other way. But I feel like I've seen that a lot. Like a lot of my male friends are like, I can't love again. Like once it just like shatters their ego in a way that it's like hard for them to come back from,
Yeah. Yeah, the male ego is fragile.
With the psychedelic stuff, did you ever feel like a diminishing of the ego?
Yeah. I've had like negative like impact on it too.
Really?
Yeah, like sometimes I just feel like things are just happening, and it just feels like kind of disconnecting.
Yeah.
Like it gets shown too much and you think it makes you all like good and wise, but then like sometimes you just feel like kind of mindless.
That's the thing you can have, because for myself, as somebody who's never even had a psychedelic experience, I've just had life experiences that have opened my eyes to things I didn't see before. But just because you get that wisdom or knowledge doesn't mean you can't fuck up and like go in your old behaviors. You know what I mean? Like I've had life experiences, like lessons I've learned or whatever, but you can still fuck up and go to your old behaviors again. It's not like it still takes work to change yourself or to change your perspective,
Yeah. I feel like what I do is I get comfortable when I get stronger. And then I just like chill and I'm not thinking again.
Yeah.
And it's, like you said, falling back into old like behaviors and habits.
Another trap that I find like is that once you're starting to do well, you can become arrogant. Mm-hmm. Like this happens to some of my friends. This has happened to me before. It's like when they start doing well and getting to where they need to go, their ego gets worse. So like you have to be, I feel not you personally, but like people, they have to be careful. Like you can become an arrogant enlightened person. Like have you never seen like people,
that's a lot of the new age people.
Exactly. You've never seen like new age spiritual gurus that like act like they're God's gift, like they're just like such assholes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I feel like that could happen to people. It's like they're on the path to becoming a better person, but then once they start feeling that way, then they feel so good that they just fall back into like old behaviors, like and they just become like really arrogant,
Yeah.
But
the new age people, sometimes I feel like when I talk to people who are like heavy into that stuff,
I'm not into horoscopes or anything like that, or whatever the new age people are into.
But the people who are, I always feel like when you're talking to them, they're not there. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think new age like spirituality could technically be anything that isn't like traditional religion. So I guess I could say I'm into it in the sense that like I believe in positive thinking. Like I believe in if you think positively, like it does affect your life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. So I believe in that. So I guess I believe in manifestation. So I guess you could say I'm a new age person, but like I don't have crystals. Like, you know what I mean? Like
that's kind of what I'm talking about.
Deep, you know what I mean? So I don't know. You never got into the new age. You never got yourself a crystal.
No, I have. I was into it.
You were into the chakras?
Yeah. But I don't know. It all just seems so spacey. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I didn't have my feet on the ground when I was kind of thinking in those ways. Just like there is no good or no bad. We're just all here. It's existence, and I'm gonna manifest everything by just pure thought. That crazy shit.
I will say this: there is like a placebo effect about it sometimes, because kind of recently, like maybe 2 months ago, I was looking for a meditation teacher or like a meditation coach or whatever, and I went to this lady and she was like, hey, I do meditation, but I also do Reiki healing. Have you ever heard of that? Reiki? Reiki. Apparently it's a Japanese thing.
It's like healing with your hands, right?
Yes. And she had like chakra little things and all kinds of stuff going on. There definitely was parts of me in there that was like, this is weird, like feeling very skeptical about it. But then there was another part of me that was like, even though I'm not sure if this stuff is real, there is a placebo effect to just like being with this lady and listening to what she's saying. I feel better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even if I don't like really actually believe what she's saying, just like kind of playing along and be like, all right, she wants me to visualize this. She wants me to do that. Let me just do it. There is like somewhat of a placebo effect by just going along with it.
Like your mind is making it work.
Exactly. Which is why I guess I kind of do believe in that. The way you think does affect what you see in front of you.
Oh, yeah. I think that's true too. But I think that, you know, like anything, there's extremes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm literally going to change my life by wishing it. Or that's when you start doing spells and shit, you know, like taking, like, binding things up. And
I think it's positive thinking, but also hard work combined. Yeah. I think you have to get the two together. You can't just rely. You can't just, like, sit around and be like, I'm going to think my way to success. Like, that's just not going to manifest. Like, you think your way, but then you get up and you take action. You know what I mean?
You got to be, like, on all the time. You got to be, like, watching for signs.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. I do believe in synchronicity sometimes, though. Did you ever have anything? Have you ever had anything weird in your life happen? You're like, oh, this is too weird of a coincidence.
Yeah, nothing that's jumping off the top of my head right now.
Yeah.
I guess like when it was time for me to move back to Jersey, it happened. It seemed to happen where a room situation opened up that was perfect for me. Where I got a single room for very, very cheap in a nice area.
Yeah.
While I was still in LA, I went back to Jersey just to like see my family for a couple weeks. And in that trip, I like learned, I was like, oh, I'm moving back here as soon as I get back.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
No, it's okay. I used to burp like all the time on this podcast when I was like a drinker and drinking beer and stuff like that. But now I'm like lame old lady with a thing of tea.
Oh, good.
With a cup that says best teacher ever. One of my students gave it to me.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if you
can
can
buy it for yourself.
No, that would be, dude. Speaking of that, so I have a tattoo. I have a tattoo of a woman on my arm. Sometimes I get people. I don't think you're gonna see that in the camera, but I mean, just literally look at my Instagram. You'll see it. Some people will come up to me and be like, "Is that you?" I'm like, "Why the fuck would I tattoo myself to myself? Are you fucking like? Do you think weird. I'm a narcistic?"
I don't think that looks like you.
It doesn't look anything like me. But the whole idea of it was it's supposed to be like a feminine figure, because like I felt like growing up I never had like a tight feminine figure in my life that I trusted, you know what I mean? So I was like, I'm just gonna make one on my arm. Like I didn't make it, but I was like, I'm just gonna put one on my arm because like so I can kind of feel it, you know what I mean? Like I have a lot of guy friends, and you know I was raised by a single dad, so like I never felt like this strong sense of like mother, you know what I mean? Like I'm actually talking to my mom now, but we had like a long period of not talking for like 10 years. So that's what the woman is. But like people are like, is that you? I'm like, how fucking crazy do you think I am that I would tattoo myself to myself?
Yeah, that would offensive.
Yeah. So yeah, that reminded me of that, because like, no, I did not buy myself a best teacher mug, but if I did, that would be pretty crazy.
That's cool though. I bet that does help though, having like a strong like feminine figure on you to like.
Yeah, I mean, it is. That's what that tattoo means to me. But then there's other tattoos on me that I'm like, it doesn't mean anything. Like people are like, what does the flower mean? I'm like, it's just beautiful. Like, I don't know. It doesn't have to mean anything, you know?
Yeah, I don't think it has to mean anything either. Yeah. That used to bother me when people would say that.
You have tattoos?
Yeah, I just have.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It's an octopus eating a pirate ship.
And what's the meaning? What's the story?
It's the meaning is that it's a cover tattoo, because I got a dumb little shape of New Jersey here.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you had a girlfriend tattoo, like initials
God,
or something.
No, I would never.
That's like asking for a breakup. Like if you get your girlfriend or boyfriend's tattoo on you, like their name or whatever, you're asking to break up. Yeah, in my opinion. Like I don't think that never works out. I've never heard of a single person who's like, yeah, it's my wife's name. Like we're still together. It's like it's always like, oh, I had to cover this up. You know? Yeah.
I feel like it like puts something in the back of your mind all the time, like, ooh, that's forever. Like this might not be, but that tattoo is.
It like fucks things up for you.
Yeah.
Are you gonna get any more tattoos?
No, I don't think so. I actually like this one, but I hated the little New Jersey thing that I got.
Yeah.
But after I got this, I was like, that's cool. But
why did you get a New Jersey
tattoo? Because it was Friday the 13th and I was 18. I was like, I wanted to feel what it was like to get a tattoo. That's all I wanted. I didn't even want one.
That's why I'm so glad I got tattoos when I was older, because if I had gotten tattoos when I was 18, I would have so many tattoos right now that I wouldn't like. Because like I'm not my little brother is 19 and he's like wants to get tattoos, and I'm just like, please don't get anything that's seasonal for yourself. You know what I mean? Like don't get the name of a band that you're gonna hate in 5 years. You know what I mean? So
I almost did that. I remember when I was a kid, I'd planned the whole time to get like the Blink-182 thing on me. Yeah. But then I don't even like them anymore.
Exactly. That's why I'm like glad I waited, because like, oh, I would have had Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, I guess I still like Sonic the Hedgehog, but I just think like I wouldn't want it on me now. Like, you know what I mean? I would have had like an ass tattoo. Like I would have had all kinds. I actually thought I was going to be like one of those chicks that were completely tatted up, but I couldn't handle the pain. Like I have a sleeve.
Oh, you don't like it?
I hate it. People are always like, oh, it hurts at first, but then once you get used to it, it doesn't hurt anymore. But for me, it was the exact opposite. It didn't hurt at first, and then the more they tattoo, like in one session, I mean, like, so once they put the needle on, I'm like, oh, that's not bad. But then when I lay there for like 2 hours getting tattooed, I'm like, I'm gonna go fucking crazy. I can't take this anymore, and I just like kind of freak out. So I'm like, I have to finish this sleeve. There's like empty space here, but once that's done, I'm fucking done. And the only thing I'll do is like touch it up if it fades when I'm older. So
do you have anything up the bicep part, or is it literally just the forearm here?
Let me just derobe for everybody. So it's literally like all this, and then it's like a 3/4 sleeve basically, because I didn't want to go all the way up to my wrist. I wanted it to be like here, but there's still like emptiness here, so I just have to fill this all out. But if you look at the back, it's like pretty much my whole arm and shoulder, and I have like a tattoo right here between my titties, and that's it. That's all.
That's pretty cool. What is this one?
Speaking of religion, it's a Buddhist symbol. It's called a unilome, and it represents like the birth and ending of your lifespan, basically. But like, again, don't get things you don't believe in, because that was when I liked Buddhism, and now I do. But you know what? I don't give a shit, because I actually think it's like a really cool, like badass looking symbol. So I'm just like, nobody knows what this means anyway. So I'm just gonna rock the symbol. But like there was a time where I was like really into Buddhism, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get this. You know?
Yeah, it does. It looks cool, and it's nothing that like portrays something like bad in any way. So it's kind of good. It's like life and death.
Well, but here's the thing, because the Buddhists believe so. If you look at the symbol, it like, so it starts with like a point on the, I'll probably just like edit a picture of a unilome on here so you see what it looks like, but it starts on the bottom like a point, and then it swirls around, and then it like twists and turns, and then eventually little dots happen, and then there's nothing. So the whole idea of it is like, you're born, your life twists and turns, and then you dissolve into nothingness. And like, because I'm like not down with the nothingness part anymore, it's like I'm wearing this thing between my breasts that I don't believe in, but I still like the symbol, and I still like, you know, there's still like elements of Buddhism that I do like, you know. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure Buddha like wanted me to do this, you know. He wanted me he wanted me to get the unilome tattooed between my tits. Like that's I'm a Buddhist now, you know.
He'd be thrilled. He'd be like, hell yeah, dude.
But no, I don't know, but maybe there is, I don't, but then again, I'm agnostic, so maybe there is nothing after we die. I believe that that's a possibility. I believe in all different possibilities. Like, so I believe that's a possibility.
It could be anything.
I'm not going to shut off anything I can't prove. You know what I mean? Like, I can't prove that we will be nothing when we die, you know?
Do you think, I've heard this, it's a theory that everything is just happening all at the same time, and everything, instead of time existing on a line, it's on a grid.
I've heard of that too. Yeah. So. I've also heard of like have you heard of the multiverse theory, that like there's technically tons of you existing in different universes
like
at the
infinity.
Same time? Yeah.
Because if infinity exists, then that would have to exist, because then everything exists.
But that's not like a proven, or is multiverse a proven thing? I don't think it is.
Well, it's like nothing's proven. Yeah. But it's like, there goes like, when you have dreams that kind of predict the future, it's like, what's going on there? Like,
have you ever had a dream like that? Like, have you ever had like a future prediction type of dream?
No, but I can say I had a weird dream where I remember I was having this dream where I met a girl who, she had blue eyes and dark hair, and it was like friendly. It wasn't like romantic or anything like that. I was just talking to her and conversing. We're like learning about each other.
In the dream?
Yeah.
Okay.
She said her name is blank blank from Long Branch, New Jersey. And I was like, oh, I'm Alex. I'm from Old Bridge. And we just talked. Yeah. And then, but that was it. And then the dream ended. And I was curious when I woke up, and I looked up the name she told me on Facebook from Long Branch. The exact person who I saw in the dream showed up.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah. That's why I consider myself. Oh, there's my other cat, Jazzy. That's why I consider myself agnostic, because I'm like, I've also had weird dreams like that before that I'm like, what the hell was that? Like, how could I say that there isn't anything that I can't understand? So this is crazy. One time, I used to have 2 cats that, these are my cats now, but like I had 2 cats that died. But they were like basically the same age, kind of the same age. One was like a little bit younger, but they were like roughly the same age. And I remember one was very healthy and one was sick. And I remember the sick one died. Okay. But I went to a friend's house that night and I was drunk and I was like basically crying and sobbing over my dead cat on her couch. And I was like, and I crashed on her couch and I was like, oh, my cat died. And I remember I said to her, I was like, well, my cat died, but at least the other one is healthy. He's probably going to live another 2 years. So that night I had a dream, on her couch, like passed out drunk. I was on her couch. In the dream, I saw the dead cat jump on me, but it felt real for some reason. Like it literally felt like the dead cat was there with me. Like I was like, so then I talked, I was like, it's a dream, so weird shit happens. And in the dream, I was like, his name was Stimpy. I was like, Stimpy, I was like, you're dead. Why are you here? Like I asked him and I was like, I'm here to tell you that, funny enough, the other cat was named Buddha. He goes, I'm here to tell you that Buddha's with me now. And I'm like, what? I woke up the next day and Buddha died.
Oh no!
Isn't that fucking wild?
That is, it's sad, but that's amazing too.
Yeah, but like I'm telling you, like when I had that dream, it like felt like the cat was in with me.
That's so weird.
Yeah, and then he like was like, yeah, Buddha's dead now too. He was like delivering the news, and then I'm like, that's crazy. I was literally just saying that Buddha is so healthy, he'll live another 2 years. And then the next morning I woke up and my dad was like, yeah, Buddha died. I'm like, what the fuck?
Right after that dream too. That's
like the day of. Like it wasn't even like, oh, that week of. It was like that day. Like, you know what I mean? Just like crazy.
Do you think it was really Stimpy that came and told you?
I don't know what happened, but so this is why I do believe that people are connected. Like, so for example, we were saying earlier in the podcast that during certain psychedelic trips, people experience some type of like collective feeling. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what that was, but I can at the very least say I believe that people are connected. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I believe that. I believe that people, like if you're thinking about somebody, there's a chance they might be thinking about you too. Like that type of stuff I do believe in, you know?
So in that way, you think you might have just had that connection to your cat in the dream world?
Like maybe I had some type of intuition that my other cat was dying and I found out through the dream world. And maybe my brain came up with this, like I don't necessarily believe that was really my dead cat, but maybe intuitively I felt the death of the other cat and my brain concocted a weird story to tell me or something. I don't know. I mean, I feel like dreams are one of the things that there's still a lot about dreams that are understood, you know?
Mm-hmm. It is interesting, though, that our brains do that. Like, we just piece together what information we have and then use the new information that tries to like, create this like story.
Sometimes I don't think dreams mean anything. Like, I think sometimes that's exactly what it is. I think it's like, because think about it, when you're awake, I don't know about you, but me, I have tons of thoughts constantly. Like, I'm just like constantly battling. I got to do this. I got to get the bananas. Does she love me? Does my father love me? Like, it's just like constant thought, like it feels like a dreaming, but like walking around. So I think when you sleep, I think it's like, I mean, again, I'm not a scientist, so I'm just kind of making this up, but it feels this way. Like, it feels like when you sleep, it's like a collection of thoughts and your entire memory get jumbled together and create like a story. Like you just said, basically, you know?
It's all just picking out of the same bin of everything.
It's funny, and that's how songs get written too. Like a lot of people think like, oh, this person wrote a song, they're genius. It's like, no, that was your subconscious mixing in all your influences, like your musical influences. Like, so if I write a song in the moment, I might be like, wow, I came up with this song. But then when I really analyze it and thinking about it, I'm like, wait, that's a combination of Amy Winehouse and Billy Joel. Like it's a combination. I don't actually listen to Billy Joel, but I do listen to Amy Winehouse. It's like, that's a combination of Amy Winehouse and the Beatles and Jimi Hendrix all got jumbled up in my brain, and then I made that song. Like I didn't really make that song.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's like nothing's really original because everything's always just been here.
Yeah.
It's like Nas says that no idea is original. It's not what you do, but how it's done.
Yeah. Oh, Nas says that?
Yeah. Well, that's a common saying, but that's his rap on it. Yeah. It's not what you do, but how it's done. Yeah. Because like even Jimi Hendrix was inspired by someone. There's no one who is inspired by nobody.
Yeah. It's funny, and you see parallel thinking in comedy a lot too. Like, have you ever had an experience where like you wrote a joke and you're like, fuck, they have that joke too? God damn it.
Yeah. Well, for me, I feel like it's not even as much as the writing. Like that does happen where I write a joke and then I'll think back to like a special I saw a while ago and I'm like, oh, that's kind of like the same shit. Yeah. But mostly I catch myself doing like cadences of other comics. I'll like feel that on stage and I'm like, oh, that sounds exactly like how Louis C.K. would have delivered it because I know like that's how I
see, and that's the thing. I think like sometimes people get crazy with like they stole a joke and it's like they probably didn't even realize they did. Like they probably didn't even realize probably sometimes you don't even realize you're imitating certain comedians till after the fact because it just gets like downloaded to your brain and you just do it. You don't even know you're doing it.
Yeah, it's just stored in the memory and it's not like you can know exactly where the thought came from.
Yeah.
And also there's not that many thoughts to be had. I mean there is, but in terms of comedy and jokes, it's like every day people are making more jokes. That's less jokes on the table that are original. Oh yeah,
that's so true. I feel like the only way to have like an original joke really truly would be like if it was about your life personally.
Mm-hmm. But even then because it's like, okay, I can do that. But I bet there's other 27-year-old white kids who like fucking he thought the same thing as me in some way or another.
Do you ever get like I don't know like how big you are into I feel like you're not big into Instagram because whenever I text you, you don't like answer till like days later.
Well, that's a problem. I'm addicted, so I turn off the notifications and I try to like throw my phone away.
No, that's smart. That's really smart. I'm not. I'm like just kidding. Like
no, I know, but
that's what you should do. But
I'm fucking addicted to this shit. Like when I'm on it, I'm like story, next, scroll.
Yeah, no, I am too. Yeah. But what I was saying was like I don't know how big you are in following different comedians, but sometimes I get irritable following comedians because I see clips of them. And I don't mean this towards any of my friends. It's actually more so towards like somewhat successful comics on like whatever. I'll see like clips from different comics that I'm like, I'm tired of that joke. I've heard 50 other people say that joke. I don't want to see it. Like I get tired of hearing like there always comes a time with jokes where it's like, okay, we've heard that. Like the dating apps. Like if I hear another joke about a fucking dating app, I'm going to shoot myself. Like it's not original. It's not creative. Like at some point it was funny to talk about when dating apps first came out, it was funny to talk about them. Mm-hmm. But like when a comedian opens his act with like, so I went on the dating app, I'm just like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
We know you found a crazy person. Like that's how it always, you know what I mean? It's
this is crazy, isn't it? Trying to find
dating
someone.
Dating apps are just, dating apps are just a normal part of society right now. It's not some crazy, it's just like part of our society.
Yeah. You know what I liked back in the day when you were like shamed for going on a dating app. You remember that?
Yeah.
When they first came out, it was like, oh, you're getting a date off the internet, you fucking loser.
You fucking loser. Yeah. Did you ever date someone on the internet?
Yeah, a few times. Yeah. It was always Tinder. That was it.
I actually I went on a few dates from dating apps, but like I never actually like ended up it never went anywhere. Like I my first time using a dating app was when they first came out, like 10 years ago. Maybe it was like Match. They didn't even have Tinder. They had Match.com.
Yeah,
Match. I went on Match.com and I did, not to be a hack like we were just saying, but I had a crazy date, like a really crazy date, and I was so turned off that I was like, I'm never doing this again. And then I was in a long-term relationship with somebody that I thought I was going to marry because we were together for so long. And then I remember always telling him like, we better not break up because like now you have to date online and I don't want to do that.
I don't think that's true though. You really don't. Because anyone I've dated recently in the past few years, I did not meet on the internet. Gotcha.
Thankfully, I did meet my current boyfriend in person, like at a music thing. We were working. Well, we're actually still doing it, but I have a music project that I'm doing, and I had a drummer who bailed. Like he didn't show up to the gig last minute, so I fired him, and I was like, I need a drummer really fast, and the guitar player in the band was like, I know a guy. And like, that's how we met. So I got lucky that I got to meet him in person. But for like the brief time that I was on dating apps, like before that, I was like, oh my God. I was like, I can't do this. This is horrible.
It's a nightmare. It's like, it's worse than doing homework from school. Because you got to sit there and like have text conversations with people you don't even like.
Yeah. And I don't think you can get a good read off of somebody's profile.
No, not at all.
You know what I mean? Like, because if I think about it, there's been people in real life that like I didn't find attractive till I got to know them. So like when you're looking at someone's profile, you're kind of just basing it off of physical attraction, but you can be physically attracted to people in real life that you don't feel that way in a picture. So I feel like it's not the best judge, you know?
No, it's like a 50-50 shot, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we were saying about comedians, right?
Yeah.
The parallel thinking.
Oh, yeah. Going back to that, I was just saying, like, there's been times where I wrote a joke where I had to, like, completely scratch it off because, like, I would, like, for a set that day, like if I was doing a show with, like, 5 or 6 other comedians and someone went before me, they would literally open with, like, the same joke as me. Not that they stole it from me, but because it wasn't a creative joke and we both thought of it. So I was like, fuck, well, now I have to.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is sort of creative jokes, and it's amazing that someone, like, one time I wrote a joke about something about sex ed in high school, and literally the other comedian started with that. He's like, so in sex ed in high school, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm like,
no.
like, that was my opener, and he had the same one, you know? I don't remember what mine was like exactly, but he had like a very similar one. So I was like, what the fuck? I was like you were saying, there really is, no one's special. You know what I mean? Nobody's really special, you know?
Yeah, no, not really. Just all about, I feel like it's just more about like becoming comfortable in your own skin, I guess.
Yeah.
Than it is like the written material a lot of the time.
I guess if somebody's special, that's what's special about it. I think it's your delivery that's special, and like the way you affect people. Like there's certain comedians that I listen to that I'm like, that person is fucking special. Like Tim Dillon.
Oh yeah, he's one of my favorites.
There is no other Tim Dillon. And he actually truly does say unique things. Like now that I think about it, I don't really hear people saying the things that he says, but he's truly a unique soul. So I guess I shouldn't say that there's no such thing as like people who are different or unique. He's very different. Bill Burr is so, like, he's so hilarious in a way that it's just him. Like the way, like his you do listen to Bill Burr, he has like this voice, and the way he's always angry about everything. And I think that's what's funny about him is that he's always like, you know what? Like he's just got this like really like, he's always bitching and angry about something.
It's just like him, and no one can really take that away from him.
Yeah, you know? And I'm still trying to find out like who I am as a comedian, because I've heard other people say that it takes a while to find that out. Like I'm just like, am I a hyper comedian? Am I a soft spoken? Because I've seen some comedians that like their thing is like they're kind of straight faced when they say their jokes, and that's what makes it funny. Mm-hmm. And then but I've seen people like Bill Burr that are just so hyper. And that's what makes it funny. So what would you say your style is? Like, are you a chill comic or a hyper comic?
I don't know. I think I'm somewhere in between, because I have bits and stuff where I get like inflated and animated. Yeah. But sometimes, like when I'm setting up a joke, mm-hmm. I try to make it serious. Yeah. So that people forget like I'm telling a joke, and then when you get to the punchline, it's like unexpected.
That's what I mean. Like some people, it's like a poker face. Like some people keep a straight face so they make it look serious, and then they're like, "Oh, you got me." And it's like funny. They know they're seeing a comedian, so they know it's going to happen, but they still like fall for it for like a quick second, you know? I did want to ask you this. I wrote this on the page. I noticed at the roast battle, you had no animosity towards me. You were like good, like it was almost like good game. Why are you so nice? Like what? Like because like and I mean that in a good way. Like because I've done roast battles with people where there was like blood in the air. It was like, motherfucker, I'm gonna beat you.
Oh, they get mad?
Not necessarily afterwards. Like we can maintain a friendship afterwards, but like in the moment, like they're like, I'm gonna fucking like they don't say that, but they have that vibe and like that look in their eye. I felt like the whole time you were just friendly. Like you came there and you were like, hey, this is gonna be fun. And then when oh shit, did the audio go out? No, it's still on. Ooh. And then when I that would have been terrible. And then when I mean, worst case, we would just use that. I've had to do that before.
Oh, true. Yeah, you cut out of that and go into something else.
I've done it before. Yeah. No, but what I was saying was that you were like nice the whole time. You were nice in the beginning and you were nice at the end. There was no animosity whatsoever. And I'm just like, how is he like that? Like there's no.
Yeah, I guess because winning the battle wasn't that important for me. Okay. I was like, I'm just here to have fun. I don't really like being mean. Yeah. So like the whole idea of roasting, it kind of makes me feel like shit.
And this is why you lost, because I was there to fucking win.
Yeah, no, you're like, I'm gonna destroy this little asshole.
I have a competitive nature to me. Like I was like, I'm gonna fucking win this thing. And you came in, and oh god, something's going on with the audio. All right, hold on one second.
Yeah.
All right, so we had a little audio issue, but we're actually getting towards the end of the podcast anyways. I like to keep this around an hour, and I think we've actually possibly gone over. I can't really see what that says from here. So we're actually going to end the podcast. Before we leave, tell them. I'll put a link to your Instagram and everything like that, but let them know if you have anything else, like a podcast, or you don't have a podcast right now, but like shows coming up, or where they can find you and that type of thing.
October 29th, I'm going to be at Hijinks Comedy in Red Bank. It's Mike Loro's show, and it's a Halloween show, so bring a costume and show up.
Exactly. So check him out if you're interested. I'll leave a link to his Instagram below if you'd like to see more. And that's Alex Delesky, everybody. Have a good night. Bye.